So how do you create a successful social media content strategy for your personal brand? Today, I'm going to give you the step-by-step guide on how you can do just that in order to grow a successful brand, to build a community, and to possibly monetize your social media presence. But before we dive into the content, I wanted to quickly introduce myself just in case you're new to my channel. My name is Aline. I'm so excited for you to be watching this video. I wanted to say that I do post videos just like this every single week on multiple income streams, passive income, digital products, personal branding, and more. So if you like this type of content, continue sticking around and subscribing to my channel. Okay, now let's dive in directly into the content. So how do you craft a successful social media content strategy for your personal brand? First of all, I want to say that you absolutely need to have a content strategy. You have to have that roadmap and know exactly where you're going. So if you do have clear goals for your social media brand, for your social media presence, you will know how to achieve them by having that content strategy, because that's basically what it is. It is a roadmap. So we all need a roadmap. It's going to make your life so much easier. It's going to help you know exactly what to post, when to post, how to post, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. The first thing to do when you are starting to build that content strategy is obviously you have to define your brand. So you have to know everything that your brand stands for, right? Your values, your opinions, what you want to be known for, and then you have to have your objectives, which means your goals. You have to know where you're going. So what is the goal for building that personal brand online? Because the content strategy is going to help you achieve that goal. If you need help with building that personal brand, defining all things that will make you unique you and help you stand out online, I do have a personal branding bundle that you can check out in the description box below. It's just going to help you do all of those things. I also do have a personal branding checklist. That's a free guide. You can download it. Just going to help you kind of check all the points to make sure that you are on track to building a clear, great personal brand. So you can also check it out in the description box below. The second thing you have to absolutely do is to pick your niche. So in order to build a brand on social media, in order to craft that social media strategy, you need to kind of put yourself into a category. And some people say you don't have to niche down, you are the brand. And while that could be true for some people, but unless you're a celebrity, an athlete that is famous, or just somebody everybody knows, nobody really cares if it doesn't kind of go into one or the other category that people are searching for. In order to grow your personal brand on social media, in order to build that following, you have to put yourself into one of those categories, and that means niching down. It means finding your unique niche, finding your sweet spot niche. And I always call it a sweet spot niche because it has to be a sweet spot niche for you. And there's so many things that go into play when it comes to finding that sweet spot niche. I have created a free guide. It's absolutely free for you to download. It's going to be linked in the description box below. That is going to help you define and uncover that sweet spot niche for you, so that you know when you are going to social media, when you're starting to build that personal brand and to promote it, you are going to know exactly what you're talking about. You're going to actually enjoy it, because that's the part of having that sweet spot niche. The next step is going to be defining your audience. So you need to know exactly who you want to be talking to, who you want to attract, and the people that will get you to your goals, right? So that means you need to know your target audience. So you need to know who that person on the other side of the screen is, because when you're going to be creating content, you're going to be speaking to them directly. That's going to ensure that every time your perfect ideal customer is scrolling that social media, they see your post, it speaks to them, stops their scroll, they're like, oh my gosh, that person is talking to me. That is me. That is my problem. That is something that I want to achieve. And then they follow along, right? So that is how you build that social media presence. That's how you build that brand on social media. So know your target audience. And again, your girl Alina has created a free guide, again, absolutely free for you to download. You just download it, fill it out, use it, and you will know exactly who that ideal customer target audience is. It's going to be linked in the description box below as well. So now that you know who that ideal customer is, who that person that you're trying to attract to your personal brand is, we're going to decide where do these people hang out. So which social media platforms you're going to start building your social media presence on. I highly do not recommend starting with everything, so stretching yourself too thin. That is just not a good strategy. That is not going to help you. I recommend starting with 1 or 2 platforms max, because that's more realistic. Think about your ideal customer. Think about where do they hang out the most, whether it's Instagram or YouTube or Pinterest or TikTok. So consider starting with the platforms where your ideal customer hangs out the most. Now is the time to do some research, right? So do some research inside that niche, because you want to uncover what kind of content on these platforms that you have just selected performs well. What is popular? What are people talking about? Who are the content creators that are doing really, really well within that niche? So start studying those. And you can do that by just typing in some of the keywords that pertain to your niche inside the search bar on that social media platform. So whether it's TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, just type that in and see what shows up. So what kind of keywords are going to pop up? What kind of creators? Start watching some videos. What can you do differently? What can you do better? What are some of the things that they're talking about? Write those things down. Do that research. See what are some trending topics. What are people asking under those videos? Those are going to give you some ideas on how you're going to select the content pillars for your personal brand. That is kind of flowing into the next point. Once you've done that research, now you see, okay, within that niche, they talk about this topic, that topic, and this topic the most. And here are also some things that they also are saying. And here's what the audience is asking. So find some people, find some content creators that do have your ideal customers already as the part of their audience, and then pay attention to what these people are asking, to what they're struggling with, and that is going to help you create your content later down the road. So and that kind of flows into the next point. Like I said, know your content pillars. So what are content pillars? Ideally, content pillars is basically kind of like buckets of posts that you're going to be creating. This is going to just make your life so much easier once you know exactly what you want to be posting about, right? So you have your niche, which is almost like an umbrella topic. And now we're going to specify the topics, the subtopics that you're going to be talking about within that niche. So ideally, you would have 5-6 topics that you can rotate through. When you're creating content, it kind of creates that nice flow so that you're not always talking about the same topic. So now is the time to sit down and write out some ideas and make sure that these are the things that would interest your audience the most and would also have some potential for you. So let's say, for example, if one of your content pillars is healthy recipes, at some point, thinking about digital products, you can create a recipe book, an ebook that will have all these recipes for your ideal customers. Now that you have your content pillars in place, you can create the content calendar. This is important, because everybody will have a different content calendar to keep them consistent. Consistency is key in any kind of business, and especially on social media. You want to show the platform that you are creating content consistently and that you are showing up. But everybody will have that consistency look different, right? If for somebody it's okay to post every day 3 times a day, for another person, it's only realistic to post 3 times a week, which is totally fine. There's no set, number of posts you have to be creating, but you need to have some kind of idea of how often you're going to be posting so you can keep to that. So think about your lifestyle, think about when you can be creating content, how you can be creating that content realistically, and create that realistic content calendar for yourself. The next step that's going to be very important that comes to content strategy is defining your visuals, right? So define the visual identity of your personal brand. It all falls kind of into that personal branding, figuring it all out, what kind of content you're going to be creating and what it's going to be looking like, right? So how are you going to sound? Is it going to be more video? Is it going to be more carousel posts if you're talking about Instagram? If it's going to be long form video, if you're talking about YouTube, what are some thumbnails are going to be looking like? So think about all of that visual representation. Maybe you want to get some templates, what it's all going to look like, right? So it's always great to do that before you start creating content so that you know exactly what you need, what kind of footage you need, what kind of videos you need, what kind of photos you need. So it kind of all falls into place, so you know what to wear, you know what your makeup should look like if you do makeup, you know what I mean. Just think about all the visuals and types of content that you're going to be creating. Again, that's all based on your audience, that's all based on what platforms they hang out on. So that is going to be the next step for you. And after that, after you know all of the above, you are going to start creating content, obviously. I highly recommend doing some strategizing first based on your content pillars. Write some ideas down. It's always easier that way. Just brainstorm some ideas on one day, and then when you're actually ready to create the content, you know exactly what you need, whether it needs to be B-roll footage, whether it needs to be talking head videos, whether it needs to be photos of some kind. You will have the plan and start creating that content. This is the fun part. For me, anyways, I love creating content. The next step in your content strategy would be obviously posting. You know, you have your content calendar, you know exactly when you're going to be posting. So post that content. A lot of the times I see creators, they're batching the content like crazy. They're creating, they're editing, they're doing all the things, and they forget to post. So do not forget to post. You have to post, and then after you post, you have to actually engage with your audience. That's a part of your content strategy. I highly do not recommend spending hours on social media just trying to find that ideal customer, just trying to like comment on everybody's posts in hopes of desperation that they're going to come to your account. That is not a great content strategy. Instead, you should be focusing on creating better content that's going to speak directly to that ideal follower, ideal customer, for them to come to you, right? So post that content. Unfortunately or fortunately, the more you post, the more chances you have to get your content discovered. If you post videos right now, that seems to work really well, like Reels, for example. Carousel posts seem to be doing really well in 2024 as well. So if that is a part of your content strategy, create those types of posts as well, but do not forget to post. So posting is a major step in your content strategy, and after you've posted, you have to engage. So if you see some comments, make sure that you reply to them. If you see some people coming into your DMs, make sure you reply to them. That is a huge part of creating that successful content strategy, is just setting up some time every single day to reply to the comments, or to go and comment on your followers' posts, and just to create that relationship, to reply to DMs, and to maybe watch the stories of your followers and reply to their stories. That's going to create that engagement, that relationship. That's also going to tell, you know, the platforms that you're hanging out on that you're a good member, that you are solid, that you are there to, you know, be social, because that's social media. That is also going to get you some ideas for your future content, because they're going to be asking you some questions. Write down all the questions they're asking, and these are going to be the posts that you can create in the future. The next thing that you have to consider when it comes to your content strategy is being authentic, being yourself, and telling your story. So when you're creating posts, stay away from just trying to imitate everybody in the niche. I know you've done your research. I know you see what's popular, what's trending, but just recreating the trends, just copying what everybody else is doing, that's boring. That's not going to set you apart. Whether it's the colors you're going to be wearing, whether it's the captions, whether it's the fonts, whatever you can do to set yourself apart from everybody else, do that. And do not be afraid to share your story so that people see you as a real person. Now, next step to building that successful content strategy is going to be promoting. I'm not talking about paid ads. You don't have to do them. But you have to get creative and think about how you can get your brand more visible. How can you get more exposure? How can you get in front of the eyes of your ideal customers? And posting is one thing, but another thing is going to be experimenting with different kinds of content. If you're on Instagram or TikTok, you can also start going live, right? You can start creating that kind of engagement with your audience where they get to know you better, whether it's not scripted, right? Whether you just sit down and talk to them like you're talking to a friend. Go into your stories, right? Again, if you're on Instagram and TikTok, go into your stories, share what you're doing, share behind the scenes, let them to get to know you. Another good strategy to put yourself more out there is to collaborate with other creators or with other brands or with other personal brands within your niche. Maybe to get in front of the eyeballs of their audience and they can get in front of the eyeballs of your audience, and you can kind of both benefit from it all. So collaboration is a good thing too. Again, you can go live together, you can do posts together, you can do some reels together, remixes. That's all good. Again, it's going to get you a little bit more exposure. Monitor what is trending, spend some time on the platforms and see what is happening, because things are always changing. What worked last year or even last month is not working anymore. So it's always great to monitor those trending sounds, monitor the trending topics within your niche, monitor the styles, because things are changing. And again, think about how you can put your own spin onto all of those things. Another way to get your content noticed is to put the keywords inside your captions, which is going to maximize your results. Some platforms also use hashtags. So some people say hashtags are dead, some people say they're still there. I think they're still there. I mean, it doesn't hurt at the end of the day, as long as you're using relevant hashtags, as long as you're categorizing your content, right? So you need to know the platform algorithm of what you're talking about, what your content is about. So some of the ways to do that, that's using relevant hashtags and using relevant keywords. So those are some specific phrases that go along with the niche that you are in and with the topic that you're talking about, to attract the people that might be searching for those terms. And again, a good way to find those, you can just simply put those keywords inside the search bar on the platform. You'll see the exact list of what people are searching for that is popular right now. You can find a way to incorporate those keywords inside your captions, inside, maybe your videos, put them on the screen so that the algorithm can figure out where to put your content and who to show your content to. So that is another way to promote your content. And last but not least is obviously analyzing. Look at your analytics. Once you've given your brand about 6 months to a year on social media, look at your content, see what performs the best, what are people asking for, what some of the things that are not performing so well, maybe that are taking up your space and time. So maybe you can eliminate those and concentrate on something that's working. It's always good to just read that analytic report inside the social media platform and see what you're good at, what you're not so good at. Maybe your hooks need to be better on Reels. Maybe your captions need to be better. Maybe you need to create more carousel posts because those are performing really well. That is another part of your content strategy. So hope all of this makes sense. Hopefully you found this video useful. Hope you wrote some things down. And if you do have any questions, I always leave my email in the description box below, so you can shoot me a quick email or put your comments in the comment section. I'll get back to them right away. And if you have found this video useful, you're not yet subscribed to my channel, make sure to subscribe, because like I said, I do post content like this every single week, and this is going to help support my channel and help me create more videos for you. And if you feel like sticking around and want to watch a few more videos on personal branding, on how to promote yourself on social media, I'm going to link some videos in the description box below. If you want to stay connected on social media, I'm going to also link all of my social media channels in the description box below. Again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.